Dear Excellencies, in the hope that my modest intervention will contribute to the success of this meeting, I would like to say a few words about the food security in India and the programs implemented by the Indian government with respect to the nutrition of its people, especially of the most disadvantaged among them. In 1945, India became one of the founding members of FAO. It was then a low-income, food-deficient country. I am pleased to say that it has made much progress since. Let me start by sharing with you some statistics. India is not only self-sufficient in rice and wheat now, but it also produces over 260 million tons of food grains and 135 million tons of milk. Agriculture is the mainstay of the country's economy. It contributes to 18% of India's GDP and provides a source of employment for more than 47% of the population. India has also made rapid strides by improving rates of undernutrition and malnutrition. Between 2006 and 2016, the stunting of children below 5 years old declined from 48% to 38%. Yet the situation is still far from ideal. The number of undernourished people amounts to 195 million. Therefore, India shares a quarter of the global hunger burden. Nearly 47 million people in India are not meeting their full human potential because of chronic undernutrition or stunting. That means that 4 out of 7 children are affected. For instance, stunting has various consequences, such as reduced learning capacity, poor school performance, lower earnings, and increased risks of chronic diseases. And those impacts are multi-generational, as malnourished girls and women often give birth to low-weight infants. There also has been an increase in the prevalence of overweight and obesity in children and in adolescents. This has lifelong consequences in terms of non-communicable diseases in adulthood. The Indian government has undertaken food security and anti-poverty programs. However, there are critical gaps due to errors concerning both inclusion and exclusion. Women and girls are particularly disadvantaged in this respect. Despite the achievement of national food self-sufficiency, new challenges have emerged, for instance, a slower agricultural growth, climate change, degradation, and shrinking biodiversity. Unfortunately, I won't have time to shed more light on those challenges during my intervention today. However, I would like to add that over the past 2 decades, the government has also taken significant steps in order to combat undernutrition and malnutrition. These have been achieved by introducing the midday meals at school, anganwadi systems to provide rations to pregnant and lactating mothers, and subsidized grain for those living below the poverty line through a system of public distribution. The National Food Security Act, so-called NFSA, introduced in 2013, aims to ensure food and nutrition security for the most vulnerable through schemes and programs which made access to food into a legal right. The United Nations support the government of India in implementing national missions and programs which strengthen the food security and nutrition. Let me conclude by mentioning the Zero Hunger Challenge, first proposed at the UN Conference on Sustainable Development held in Brazil in June 2012. At that conference, the Secretary General Ban Ki-moon gave top priority to the elimination of hunger worldwide. And eliminating hunger involves investments in agriculture, rural development, decent work, social protection, and equality of opportunity. It will provide a major contribution to peace and to stability, as well as to the reduction of poverty. It will contribute to better nutrition for all, especially to women from the beginning of pregnancy and children under the age of 2. I very much hope that thanks to the true combined efforts, including those of Indian government, it will be possible to achieve a zero hunger world in the nearer future.